Tom, let's get on to Oscar, because he won 2 races this year. I thought, some of the weekends, the highs were very high, no doubt about it. But I remember talking to you after Budapest, and we were saying how last year he was 29 seconds behind Lando, and we'll come back to team order stuff in a second. But just his pace and the development of Oscar, can you shed a little bit of light on what it was like to work with him and how much he had changed?
Sure. So, I think it's easy to forget now that Oscar's only done 2 seasons. So that means a lot of the circuits on the F1 calendar he's only been to twice. So he's actually still very much in a learning phase in that regard, even though you might say, he's done, well over 40 Formula One races. And this time last year, when we looked at his results, it was clear that particularly the circuits where rear tyre management was the challenge in the race, then he was generally found wanting and struggled to manage them in the best way. So we worked very hard through the winter and through the opening races to try and fix that. And I think this year he's been, in the races in a much, much better place. And generally his tyre management certainly no longer looks like a weakness, no longer looks like a problem. There's still opportunities. The next thing that we need to do with Oscar is take a small step in the qualifying performances, because he's generally been a little bit 1 or 2 tenths only, like normally on the same row as Lando. But there's probably 1 or 2 tenths that we want to try and find into next year.
0.171 on average, according to my spreadsheet.
So if we can do that, then I think what has been very impressive this year is what I would call his racecraft, like around other cars. Probably the clearest example was racing in Azerbaijan when he made the fantastic overtake on Charles and then had to defend tooth and nail for pretty much every lap remaining. But actually, there have been a number of situations, and the way that our 2 drivers worked together in the sprint in Qatar, with Oscar defending against Russell, who was very quick at that point, is another good example. He's been good at safety car restarts. He's generally been going forwards at the race start, and that despite qualifying among the kind of established top drivers, if you like. So very happy with that aspect of his racing. So there's just a couple of things we're looking to put in place next year, and then I think he'll be in a very strong position.
Just to underline that, he knows how to put championships together. Of course, he's done it in the junior formula. Only driver on the grid never to have no DNFs.
Yeah, he's actually...
Lando had the Austria.
Yeah, Lando had Austria. So Oscar has not only had no DNFs, but he's completed every lap.
Every lap. And that's how you win a championship.
He's the 4th driver only to do that.
Yeah.
But the other 3 all won the championship that year. Yeah. So that's a stat which our design office are phenomenally proud of. For Oscar, there's a little bit of a burn in the back of that, and he wants to put that right.